It's fine. We are live now. Let me share my screen. It's fine. We are live now. Let me share my screen. Okay. All right. So we have a lot of other folks joining in. Thank you all for joining in and showing interest. It's a weekend basically, and you guys, I must tell all of you that you are the Mahatmas of this age of Kali Yuga, right? Because on a weekend, that too on an evening, Saturday evening, you could have been anywhere, right? But you chose to come to a satsang like this. So that itself tells a lot about your character. So thank you all once again. My humble pranams to each and every single one of you who have joined today. And we'll begin with this session. And I also have my co-instructor here, Deepmala Mataji. Deepmala Mataji, we will just, kind of give a quick introduction about ourselves before we, go ahead with the session. So I also see Siddharth's iPhone. Is it Siddharth Chaturvedi? If yes, can you please confirm? Anyways, I think there is no response. Some issue might be there. Okay. So before starting the session, I would like to dedicate this session to our founder Acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So he's my spiritual grandfather, and yes, whatever I speak here, I will merely repeat what I have heard in the lectures of Srila Prabhupada. I will merely repeat what I have read in the books of Srila Prabhupada, and I will merely repeat what I have learned from my Siksha Gurus and the Guru Parampara of ISKCON. So this is the agenda for today. First, as I said earlier, that it will be an introductory session, basically. Okay, so we will not be starting off with the reading sessions right away today. Rather, I would just give an overview. First of all, we'll start with the introduction of myself and my what to say, like a co-instructor for all of you, Deep Mala Mataji. We'll introduce ourselves to you, and then there are certain naming etiquettes at ISKCON. How do we address, how the devotees address each other at ISKCON? So those etiquettes, I'll be just giving a quick overview. Then we will be performing some pranam mantras to, invoke auspiciousness, because this is a very, very auspicious initiative that we have taken. And, it uh, we will just pray to the Guru Parampara of ISKCON that we are doing this for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga, and they might be pleased with this humble effort of ours. Yes. And then I'll come to the course structure. And then after that, we will give a quick, like kind of a crash course to all of you to, for about Krishna consciousness, because I'm pretty sure that some of you are very new to this, whole thing of Krishna consciousness. So at least you should know the basics of, what this is all about. Okay. And then if the time permits, we will, have some question and answers as well. Okay. So just before we proceed, can any one of you please confirm that I am clearly audible and clearly visible to all of you?
Yes, Prabhuji. It's clear, loud
Thank you,
and clear.
Prabhu. Thank you so
Yes,
much. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay, Siddharth Prabhu is here. Is it Siddharth Chaturvedi?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hari Hari. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hari Hari.
So all the devotees, all the participants here, I would like to introduce Siddharth Prabhu also. He is actually my childhood friend. We used to go to the same school, and he has been kind enough to accept this invite for this particular session. And I hope he stays with us till the end.
It is my pleasure, Prabhuji.
Hari Hari.
Hari Hari.
Okay, so starting with me, the introduction. So my name is Abhinava Gauranga Das, and I joined ISKCON way back in 2020 during the COVID time. And since then, I have been engaged in various activities within ISKCON. Like mostly, I generally conduct classes or try to teach people in at various locations, or generally it's an online platform for the different ISKCON centers. And also, I look into the media aspect of our ISKCON Bhakti Center. So we are basically associated with ISKCON Whitefield in Bangalore, and specifically speaking, my congregation is ISKCON Kannamangala, right? And here I also look into the digital aspect, or some technical things like preparing some posters or flyers for different occasions that we are celebrating in at ISKCON. So all these things basically I do apart from taking classes. So this was about my spiritual aspect. Professionally and personally, I am a married man. I am a grihastha basically, and I work for a renowned software company, uh, uh, and at Bangalore itself. And I'm a web developer over there, senior web developer. So this was all about me, and I would also like to introduce the co-instructor, Deepmala Mataji. Mataji, if you can please turn on your video and introduce yourself to the devotees. Deepmala Mataji, are you there? Okay, looks like Mataji is busy with something, so let's not disturb her. So what we will do is that we'll move on with these con etiquettes, naming etiquettes. Okay, so as I said that when I referred myself to the other devotees, I call myself Abhinav Gauranga Das. Now this is a spiritual name which has been given to me when I was getting initiated, when I was taking Diksha at ISKCON by my spiritual master. Okay. So when I introduce myself to others, I'll call myself Abhinav Gauranga Das. But when others refer to me, they will call me Abhinav Gauranga Prabhu or Abhinav Gauranga Prabhuji. Okay, like that. So similarly, what happens at ISKCON is that each and every male member of ISKCON is referred to as Prabhu or Prabhuji. Reason being that we actually do not discriminate on the basis of one's physical body. Okay, they can be males, they can be females, they can be from any other nationality, they can belong to a particular sect. So there is no discrimination at all at ISKCON. So we simply look people on the spiritual platform. We look at each other as a spirit soul, as a spiritual spark, right? So since spirit soul is a part and parcel of Krishna himself, so we, like out of respect, we call all the male members as Prabhuji, and all the female members will be referred to as Matajis. Okay, this has nothing to do with your age. So even a 5-year-old girl at ISKCON will be called a Mataji. Reason being that our Vedic culture actually places women on a high pedestal. Okay, that women have been given a lot of respect in our society, in our Vedic culture, and it is actually believed in Vedic culture that every woman apart from your wife is just like your mother. Okay, so keeping that in mind, keeping that what to say that spirit in mind, actually we what we do at ISKCON is that we refer all the female members as Matajis. So all the ladies, you are Matajis from today. All the gentlemen, you are Prabhus or Prabhuji from today. Okay, so welcome each and every one of you again. So this was some generic naming conventions. We'll move on to the Mangalacharan. Now, what I am going to do is that I will perform some pranam mantras. Those who know, some senior devotees I can see here who were actually with me, they were my batchmates in ISKCON. So they must be knowing all these things. So what they can do is they can just keep themselves on mute and repeat after me. Those who don't know these pranam mantras, just try to listen very carefully. Why? Because listening is also very, very purifying. Okay, it will remove all the material contamination from your hearts. Actually, if we are very, dedicated and we listen very nicely. Okay, so we will start. Second. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gururo Shri Utapadkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघ्यते गिरि यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं हरि ओम तत्सत्. Okay, so we have invoked the auspiciousness. Give me a second. Okay, now coming back to the course structure. Now, this particular course is actually what to say. I mean, there are some positive aspects as well as some, I would not call them as negative, but some uncertain aspects also related to this particular course. Okay. So this is something which was my spiritual aspiration, my spiritual ambition, which I always wanted to do. That is to, preach the teachings of Bhagavad Gita to as many people as possible. And fortunately, Krishna sent a spiritual master in my life, whose, who's basically mood or whose basically teachings were also on the same lines. Like he also wanted me to, you know, he also wants me to learn more and more, read more and more shastras, and then distribute that knowledge among the masses, basically. So first of all, I would like all to thank each and every one of you, because just because your mere physical presence in this particular session is actually helping me to fulfill the desires of my spiritual master, right? So all of you will be very, very blessed. So again, my humble pranams and my humble obeisances to all of you. Okay, so the course structure, what it goes is that this will be a weekly course. Every Saturday, we will be conducting this course, and you can join in. We will read the Bhagavad Gita together. It will also give me an opportunity to read it again. And this time, since I'm the instructor, so I'll be more meticulous in kind of reading this again and explaining it to all of you. Yes, so that is the one thing. But since it is a weekly course, the uncertain aspect of this particular course is that, like there are 700 shlokas. So in 1 week, in each class, how many shlokas we'll be able to cover? That is a big question mark, right? But anyways, like what I am seeing, that this is going to be, easily at least 1.5 years course, like sessions that will go on, right? Because the working days, I'll be preoccupied with my office work, so it's not possible for me to conduct the sessions. So weekends are remaining. If there is a requirement, like if all of you agree, then I can also think of taking it on Sundays as well, apart from Saturdays. So then we can like squeeze it in maybe 1 year or maybe a little more than 1 year. But if we go with the weekly approach that every Saturday is going to happen, then easily we are looking at 1.5 years or maybe even 2 years, right? So the positive side of this thing is that it's going to be a very slow paced thing. And, it will give you a lot of time to absorb all the concepts of the Bhagavad Gita. And also, no one of us will be under any pressure because there is no exams associated here, right? We are just simply reading the books, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah. So this is all about the course structure. I also got a couple of questions from some of the devotees that do they need to have a Bhagavad Gita with themselves, or do they need to carry notes, notepad and pens to take notes? Yes, it's always a very good practice to have a notepad with you, so that you can immediately take down the notes, which are some of the important aspects, uh, which things that you learn during this course. But anyways, we are live on YouTube, so that's fine. The recording can be available anytime, so that is fine. Okay. And just give me a second. Yes. Yeah, recording is already there on YouTube, so that's fine, and you can watch this session over and over again. Not a problem. But then it's always handy to basically keep a notepad and a pen to take down the notes. As far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, we at ISKCON strongly recommend each and every person to have a Bhagavad Gita, hard copy of Bhagavad Gita at home. Okay, although I'll circulate the online links also from where we will be reading these sessions, but then do not get yourselves habituated to this online things, because you never know that sometimes the network might be down, or there can be another some different technical issues, some glitches maybe in your device, through which you won't be able to access all these websites. Okay, so one thing is that always have a hard copy of Bhagavad Gita at home. That is very important. Second thing is that once you keep a scripture, the kind of binding and the page quality and the print quality of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is distributed by ISKCON devotees, is such that you can easily preserve this scripture for next 200 years if you have one copy at home, right? So basically, you are not only helping yourselves, but you are also helping your forthcoming generations, just by keeping a Bhagavad Gita, copy of Bhagavad Gita, and making it a habit of reading it every day along with your family members. Yes. So I hope that makes sense. So please, all of you can get a copy of Bhagavad Gita from your nearest ISKCON center, or towards the end I will also share a link in the WhatsApp group where you can order it online, and you will easily get it within 1 or 2 weeks time. Okay, so this was all about course structure. Now let's come to the introduction part. Okay, the introduction to Krishna consciousness and the importance of reading the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so first thing, so what are we looking for in life? Okay, this is the first question, and this is where everything starts. Basically, this is the point where everything starts. Okay, as soon as the sun rises in the morning, what happens? We see that people start running around like crazy. Okay, some of us are taking care of our families. Some of us have to go to work. If the kids are there, they will have to go to school. If we have any business to look after, then we just need to attend those business calls, business meetings, or maybe if we have a shop, we have to go to the shop and take care of that. If we get some time, then we kind of spend that time with our families, right, with by going to movies, restaurants, eating out, and whatnot. And to a certain extent, although the last point is actually like exponentially diminishing from our society, it's actually vanishing from our society. Some of us even do some kind of a spiritual practice or some sort of a worship at home as well, right? So the question is, why are we all doing this? Okay, why are we keeping ourselves so busy? Why are we running about after so many things? So I would like to open the floor for all of you. Anyone who wants to share their thoughts, why are we doing this? Anyone, whatever comes in your mind, that's fine, totally fine. This is not an office call, so you need not worry about it. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
We all are in material world and we are conditioned to do that. So we are running after, if we are running after money, we are running after money, saying that we need to run the family, we need to pay the bill. But all are basically we are conditioned to perform something or other to keep ourselves busy. And it is a Maya which is in place, which is trying to take us away from our actual purpose. So if we understand this root cause and work towards the actual cause, then things will start falling into place. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah, Hare Krishna. Anyone else? That was a nice answer. Very deep answer, actually. Anyone else? Please speak up. I mean, I don't want to be this to be a monotonous session. Otherwise, it will be very, very boring. Trust me. Okay, since no one is answering, I'll just try to answer. So the basic thing, the reason why we all are, carrying out these activities here in this material world, all these things which are mentioned here, is basically we are looking for happiness. Okay, so happiness is the root cause for all the activities that we are performing. Okay, but the thing is that happiness, the description of happiness or how we can be happy, this has been actually told to us by our parents or our elders in the family, and this is a kind of a, I would say, a sort of a misconception, which has been fed into our heads right from our childhood, and we have also kind of accepted that, right? That okay, ठीक है, चलो मम्मी पापा बोल रहे हैं या बड़े लोग बोल रहे हैं घर पे, तो it has to be that way. Okay, so what has been told to us is, one, how can we be happy? If we have a nice home, if a nice luxurious home we have, then we will be happy. If we have a nice luxurious car, then we will be happy. Or these days, if we are having a fancy mobile phone in our hands, a high-end mobile phone, then we will be happy, right? But just think over it. I mean, is this the really a fact that, if anyone possesses all these things, maybe just think of any material opulence. Suppose if I have all the material opulence in the world, will I be actually happy? So what are your thoughts on that? So I would just like to ask all of you. Is it yes or is it no? If it's yes, then why? If it's no, then why? Come on, I see 12 or 13 people here. Please try to speak up. Otherwise, I won't know that whether you are listening or sleeping.
No, Prabhuji, we are listening.
Okay.
And as rightly said by Mataji, that we keep on doing these things to meet our livings, and the day-to-day activities are to fulfill our needs and the operational cost which we have to do it for our family and all.
Mhm.
But the real happiness, in my point of view, is that gives you inner satisfaction. For example, it is not that the happiness in moving a Maruti car
Mhm.
can be more for someone
Mhm.
instead moving in a BMW or a
BMW.
Mercedes.
Yes.
So the happiness is the inner consciousness which makes you feel happy from inside.
Inside.
So
Exactly.
there are for example, there are many examples that for me,
Mhm.
giving someone to something is the most happiest thing which I perceive.
Mhm.
If I give something, the giving attitude of someone makes me very happy. So
Yes.
it depends upon an individual that in what activities he or she is happy.
Yes, exactly. So I think very rightly put, Siddharth Prabhu. So the thing is that, yeah, we will come to know. What you say is that you spoke about inner satisfaction and you spoke about giving, right? So we'll see all these aspects, that what is this inner satisfaction all about, right? And why are we happy when we try to give something to someone? Okay. So very rightly, you are on the right track. So yeah, basically, anyone else who would like to add something on top of that? Do you really think that if we have these luxurious items with us, then we'll be happy?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, please go ahead, Mataji.
I have thank you. So I have recently realized that there is no ending to this happiness, especially in this materialistic life. It started with I want a promotion and I'll be happy. Then it went to I want to have a child, I'll be happy. After that, I want another milestone in my life, I'll be happier.
Yes,
But it
absolutely.
never ends. There is
It
no
never ends.
achievement of happiness overall.
Exactly. So I think both of you, Siddharth Prabhu as well as Mataji, you both actually, kind of have hit the nail on the head. We will see, that how this thing, we'll see this will build up, as we move ahead in this session. Okay. So yeah, so this is all about happiness. Now, how can we become happy? Okay. So in general, like when we talk about in our day-to-day life, I mean, I think, is it safe to say that when our needs are fulfilled, we'll be happy? This is the general conception, among the masses today, right? Like as Mataji said that today I need this thing, I want to have, that with me, I'll be happy. Then something else comes in my mind, then I just run after that. I try to achieve that, and then we'll be happy. So basically, when our needs are fulfilled, we become happy. So this is the statement. So when we talk about needs, then what are the needs then? Okay. So basically, needs can be categorized into 4 types. Okay. The first 3 we'll see, and the fourth one we'll see a little later. Okay. First is the physical needs, anything that is pertaining to the upkeep of your body. Okay. Anything that we do. We eat to maintain our body, we drink water to maintain our body, we sleep to maintain our body, we even work out to maintain our body, right? So anything that we are doing just for the betterment of our body or just for the upkeep of our body is basically our physical needs. So if our physical needs are met, if our physical needs are satisfied, then to a great extent, we cannot say that we'll be happy, but at least some satisfaction will be there, right? If we are keeping us healthy and if we are keeping our family healthy, right? So that's the physical need. Then the psychological needs. Okay, now just imagine how do you feel when you get a promotion at office or when your work is appreciated at office? You feel nice, right? You feel very happy, and that okay, a sense of achievement is there within you. Okay, that I did something good, and people are appreciating that. Similarly, if our kids perform well at some competition, maybe they bring us a medal on the sports day, or if they bring us a medal in some sort of an Olympiad or anything like dance, music, any competition they participate and they win a medal. What happens? We are very excited, super excited. Ekdam khatak se we'll just take the picture of that certificate and fatafat it's on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere, right? On Facebook, everywhere, right? So this psychological needs, this basically the sense of achievement that we get, okay, when people around us appreciate us or people around us, they show us some respect. Okay, what happens is that suppose we are not allowed to stand at some place in our society where we are living in, and you are standing there and the security guard comes up to you and talks very rudely to you. Okay, what happens? Immediately our anger will shoot up, and then how dare you can talk to me like this? You are just a security guard. And then everything will just go to the association president and just get this guy out of the society. Ho hangama will be there full on, right? That so this so this attitude, that when we are appreciated, we are a sense of achievement comes in, we feel very excited, very happy about that. And similarly, if someone disrespects us, if someone dishonors us, then we get either agitated or we just feel very low about it. So this is basically what I'm talking about is psychological needs. So psychological needs is the need or the sense to be appreciated and to be awarded, and to be respected by the people around us, people in general. Those people can be people of the society at large, or they can also be the members of your own family. Okay, so this is all about psychological needs. So if the psychological needs are met, then also we are very happy. A sense of achievement is there and we are very happy about it. Yes. And third, emotional needs. Now, this is just one level above psychological needs. Okay, psychological needs, deals with people in general. It's primarily because of more of a some kind of sense of achievement and respect. But emotional needs is about basically getting a love, from the people around you and getting an opportunity to love people around you. Okay, for example, if you say somehow pick up a quarrel with your parents at home. Okay, and in a very melodramatic way, your mother tells you, "इससे अच्छा तो ये होता कि तू पैदा होते के साथ मर गया होता." Right? How would you feel after that? We will be disheartened, completely disheartened, right? Or what happens, like, if you break up with your boyfriend or a girlfriend? What happens if you are separated from your spouse? What happens if a boy or a girl rejects you, right? You're completely heartbroken, you're shattered, right? It takes a lot of time to, recollect people like that and, then, go on, move on with your life, right? Yes. So this is what the emotional need is. As human beings, we are emotional beings basically, and it's our need to love someone and to be loved by someone. Okay, so these are the three needs which are there, and generally it can be said that if it's general conception in our society that if these three needs are basically met, in a significant way, then what happens is that we should be happy ideally. So physical needs, psychological needs, emotional needs, if these three needs are satisfied, we should be happy. But then, is it the right statement? As Mataji said just a few moments back, these needs are never ending and keep us hankering for more, right? If today I am, say, I'm sleeping in maybe a 2 BHK flat, right? My physical needs are satisfied there, right? It's more than enough to take care of my need, actually, what I need, basically. Okay. But our mind will trick us. It will not stop there. It will keep us, hankering, like it will instigate a kind of hankering within us, and it will inspire us to go for a 3 BHK, maybe a luxury villa, maybe a bigger flat, bigger place than that. Why are we sleeping here in a 2 BHK? Go, we can maybe book a room in Burj Khalifa, and then we can spend a night there, right? So this is the kind of hankering that it keeps on. So today, okay, if 5 people are respecting us, why should I be confined to the respect of only these 5 people? Why can't 10 people respect us? Why can't 15, 20 people appreciate us for what I'm doing? So this is the kind of hankering that keeps going on and on and on. Okay, so basically these needs, like we can never be happy. This basically, it's a wrong notion that if these needs are satisfied, then we will be happy. Just these three needs are satisfied. Okay, then the reason why this is happening is that we are not looking for happiness at the right place. Okay, this is a very important point. We all should make a note of it. Okay, we are not, any material thing cannot make us happy eternally. Okay, the happiness that we derive by small achievements that we make in our day-to-day life, it's a very temporary feeling, right? Even you buy a BMW, that excitement will be there initially, yes, but then it will soon fade off, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, maximum. After that, you will find something else, and you start running after something else. Yeah, so because we are not looking for happiness in the right place. And I think all of you must be knowing that this personality in this picture. Okay, so are we actually happy? I'll just explain why we are not looking for happiness in the right place. Okay, now this guy Michael Jackson had a lot of money. Okay, I mean, he was super rich guy. He had a palatial house, and he had a lot of fan following as well. I request all the participants to please go on mute. He had a lot of fan following as well. So money was there, so physical needs were met. Fan following was there, so his psychological needs were also met, and emotional needs were also met, because fans also loved him very much, right? Like some of the people were actually even ready to die for him, right? So emotional needs were there. His achievements, I mean, needless to say what he has achieved today, right? Even today, even the choreographers of this generation also copy his dance steps, right? So achievement wise also, he was a like a global celebrity. Yes, so definitely, like his psychological needs were also satisfied, but still was he happy? Something was missing in his life. And you know what, he had this palatial house, a huge house, right? And a section of that house was actually converted into a multi-speciality hospital. I don't know if many of you are knowing this or not, but he had world-class doctors at his disposal anytime, at any given point of time. He had world-class medical staff at his disposal. Organ donors were, just there for him 24/7. That just in case if he needs any kind of a transplant, that immediately that transplant can take place at home. And reason why he had put in so much of effort, because his aim was to live for 150 years. Okay, so just imagine that this guy who had achieved almost everything, which we can dream of today materially, yes, but still this guy was not satisfied, right? He wanted to live for 150 years, and what sadly he died in his 50s, right? If I'm not wrong. Okay. So this is what exactly Mataji was saying a few moments back, that we try to be happy by making some material achievements, but then those achievements actually instigate more hankering within us. And what happens after that is it leads to frustration if that hankering is not met, or it leads to anxiety that, okay, if even if we have something, then we are anxious that, okay, we might lose it in the near future. Okay, so that anxiety is also there. And because of this frustration and anxiety, what happens? Slowly the depression creeps in. And then finally, if the person is very, very depressed, then, they also start contemplating on suicide, which is the most abominable and horrible thing to do, actually. Yes. So we are not looking for happiness in the right place. No matter how much material opulence we acquire, it's very, very difficult for us to be happy just with the material things around us. Okay. So this brings us to the last need. We spoke about three needs: physical need, emotional need, and psychological need, right? So we have seen that these three alone are not the necessary and sufficient condition to keep us happy. So what is the fourth need? It is known as the spiritual need. Okay, now we start asking the right questions, basically. Okay, so what is this spiritual need? Okay, so spiritual needs is about understanding the fundamentals of human life. Just as Siddharth Prabhu said a few moments back, what did he say? That anything that he does which gives him satisfaction from within. Okay, so what is this within? Okay, we'll see sooner or later. Okay, what is this within? And then secondly, he said that when he does something for others, that gives him happiness. Okay, so this act also we will see. So these are basically the fundamentals of life that we need to understand. So some of us, we have this concept, but we just need to put it in a right way. We need to articulate in a right way so that our understanding is clear. And once our understanding is clear, then we will be eligible to read the Bhagavad Gita, basically. Okay, so what are the fundamentals of life? It's about asking a few genuine questions we generally forget to ask in our day-to-day hectic activities. Okay, so first question is, who am I? Okay, so what is this human life all about? Is it just about completing your school, completing your college, finding a nice job, getting married, giving birth to children, and then ultimately marrying them off, becoming grandparents, and then ultimately leaving this body? Is it just about that, or there is something more to human life? Okay, that is one. Second, who is God or who is creator, basically? Okay. Third question, what is my relationship with him? Fourth, how to connect back with him? So if we try to find answers to these questions, then to a great extent, the confusion which is dwelling in our mind, the anxiety, that restlessness is there every day, that we are running like crazy in a race, that will slowly subside, and we will become calm and peaceful from within. And then that will start reflecting in our personality as we grow after that. Okay. So first things, why do but we have seen how many people ask these questions actually in our day-to-day lives. Very few. There are very, very few people. You can simply count them on fingertips who are actually worried about these questions. Most of them are like, आज इस particular company का share कितना गया, and what I have to do today, how much should I invest so that it maybe I get some healthy return maybe in 5 years or 10 years time. This is all what we are thinking today, right? Like, one job is not sufficient, let me find some other source of income. Just earning money and then enjoying like crazy. That is the whole motto of the generation today. You can just see all around you. This is what people are doing today, right? Very few people are there who are asking these genuine questions. Yes. And why do we ignore our spiritual needs? So this is the question. First, we can't follow spiritual activities due to lack of time. So a part of it is true, yes, because some of us are actually working in multinational companies, especially during the US time zone. So it's just ulta, basically. So in the daytime, you have to work for in in your office, and then during the night time, when the onshore team comes, then again the meetings are there. So you are basically engaged full time. Okay, so unrealistic work hours are there. I mean, 8 hours that you sign in your offer letter or the employment letter is just a myth, basically. No one works for just 8 hours. It easily stretches up to 10 or 12 hours every day. Okay, so definitely, so this is a genuine thing, and it's for householders, it's a bit of a problem also to find some time after that. Okay, and then there was another what to say, it was not an official survey, but I was just going through the newspaper, and in one of the articles I read that on an average, and average Indian spends around 3 to 3.5 hours on social media, Facebook and Instagram in particular, right? Now that 3.5 hours is a very, 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 very big time. Actually, you can do so much, in those 3 hours if you are able to save that. Okay, just imagine what we are doing on social media. Either we are watching some stupid reels, okay, most of them are completely senseless, or we are just scrolling, or social media is a free way which has given us a free kind of a window to peep into others life. Okay, whether it's my family members, whether it's my uh, anyone like my office colleague, my peers, whatever. Okay, so we are just interested in everyone others life, right? Like what others are doing, and how what they have achieved and what I have not been able to achieve. And these things are actually keep popping up in our minds, and then it frustrates us even more. And then finally what happens that we end up doing something stupid actually, and we end up just wasting our time basically, right? So that is the reason why, personally speaking, I have quit social media. It's almost 1 year now. I am not on Facebook, I am not on Instagram, only just WhatsApp and YouTube for obvious reasons, because that is the way I will just propagate Krishna consciousness. That's what I intend to do, right? But this is not easy actually. Just like smoking is a deep rooted habit. If someone is an alcoholic or if someone is a smoker, they just cannot quit it overnight. If they try to do that, there will be some withdrawal symptoms associated with that, right? So same thing goes with social media also. It's a kind of an addiction, right? So my whole point is that you can definitely find some time for your spiritual activities, provided that, say, for example, if you are spending 2 hours on social media, just take half an hour out of that. Use for 1.5 hours, you use the rest 30 minutes for your spiritual activities. That is not a very difficult task, right? It's not a very difficult thing to do. Actually, it's a very genuine and a very realistic way to slowly withdraw yourself from these kind of distractions. Okay. Second, motivation is more for sense gratification, right? Now just imagine the reason why I called you Mahatmas of Kali Yuga, that because all of you actually came here, and you are sitting in this session for what, around more than 45 minutes now, right? And it's a Saturday evening, right? But most of the people are not interested at all. अरे यार, कौन अभी जाके भगवत गीता कोर्स करेगा, उस टकलू को सुनेगा 1 घंटे के लिए अभी? I mean, this is just pathetic. I mean, but just imagine, had this been a, say, what to say, a nice party, okay, the night party, whole night party, everyone would have been very, very excited to come here and participate in that. Even on Friday night, like if they're back from office completely tired and fatigued out and burnt out, but still that motivation will be there, that nahi, party mein to jana hai, I have to go there somewhere, somehow, like that, and enjoy, right? So this is the tendency today, that motivation is more for sense gratification. And third, capacity to understand spiritual topics is at a minimum in the people of Kali Yuga, right? In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned about people of Kali Yuga: Manda Sumanda Mateo, Manda Bhagya, right? Manda means lazy. Sumanda Mateo means we are dull. Intellectually, we are dull. We are very slow in grabbing the concepts of spiritual things, actually, right? So that is, and Manda Bhagya, we are also very, very unfortunate in Kali Yuga, right? So it's this is the reason why we keep on ignoring our spiritual needs. Okay, but until and unless we do not start paying attention to our spiritual needs, it's very, very difficult to actually be really happy and happy for a long time, basically. Yes. And then third is the artificial living standards. As I said, that since most of us are spending so much time on social media, our lives have become very, very artificial, right? Anything we achieve, we simply immediately khatak se we just post it on social media, right? So much so that this is a very hilarious incident that I came across just a few days back, actually, since I have quit my social media. But one day I was just sitting with my wife and she was scrolling actually Facebook. So I was just peeping over कि ठीक है क्या चल रहा है इतने दिन से. So there was one lady who had just posted who had just made a post on Facebook, and it was like they were traveling abroad, and they were traveling in the business class basically. अब मैं business class में जा रहा हूँ and people don't come to know how is it possible, right? So they immediately took the picture of that boarding pass with that business class encircled in the in that ticket and they posted the picture of that ticket on the Facebook basically, right? So see, this is how artificial our lives have become these days. Yeah. So that is the reason why we don't have time for all these spiritual practices, because we are busy in these nonsensical activities actually. Okay. So now comes the qualifications for reading the Bhagavad Gita. So just as we have qualifications in the material world also, that if you want to do some masters, you should have at least a bachelor's degree in some subject. Okay. You want to go for a PhD, then you should be having a master's degree in some subject, right? So similarly, we have qualifications for reading the Bhagavad Gita as well. Okay. And what are those qualifications? So in the Bhagavad Gita, I think it's fourth chapter. I think, yeah, it's in the fourth chapter, Krishna says, स एवायम मया तेद्यम योग प्रोक्त पुरातना भक्तो सी में सखा चेति रहस्यम हेतद उत्तमम. Right. So what Krishna says, that very ancient science of the relationship with Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my dear friend, and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Okay. So important thing to note here is that you are my devotee as well as you are my friend. So this is the bare minimum qualification for reading the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. You cannot read the Bhagavad Gita, or you cannot understand the Bhagavad Gita, even a single word, if you are not a devotee of Krishna, if you are reading it in a challenging mood. Okay, that okay, let me see, dekhte hain kya bola hai isme. I mean, what is it written? I mean, this is an utter nonsense. If that kind of attitude you have, then definitely you will never be able to understand what is written in the Bhagavad Gita. It will always be a rahasyam for you. Okay. Second qualification is that we should be a friend of Krishna, in a friendly disposition, friendly, non-envious disposition towards Krishna. Okay. Only then we are capable of understanding. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult for us to understand the concepts. Forget about implementing it in your day-to-day lives. Okay. So with a humble mood, yes, asking questions is your right. I mean, each and every single person is entitled to ask as many questions as possible. Just get rid of all the doubts that you have, once it comes to spirituality. But then you should be asking it in a very humble mood, with an intention to understand, not with an intention to challenge. Okay. Because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. We will see why we are saying that. And I will quote some Shastric references as well, to say that. Okay. So there is no question of, being envious of Krishna, or being, an atheist or anything. Just follow what is written in a proper mood, and then you just see the magic of this book. Okay. So this is the first qualification, that you should be a devotee of Krishna, and you should be in a non-envious, friendly disposition towards Krishna. Okay. Second, so this is from the 18th chapter, 67th verse. Idam te na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana na chashu shrushave vachyam na cha mamyobhyasuyati. So what Krishna is saying here, this confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere, who are not devoted, or not engaged in devotional service, nor to the one who is envious of me. So clearly Krishna is saying that who are the people who are not basically qualified to read the Bhagavad Gita, or may the Bhagavad Gita not be explained to such people. Okay. So just see. So you have to perform some austerities. So you have to be a devotee, and you have to be engaged in some sort of devotional service in order to understand the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So these are the qualifications for reading the Bhagavad Gita. Third, benefits of reading the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So it will make you enthusiastic, because you will come to know about your true identity, who you are, what is the purpose of your life, who is God, or who is Krishna, what is your relationship with him. When this thing is clear, then obviously, you'll be very, very enthusiastic. Just you know that, okay, I've taken the right path. It's just the matter of time that, one day I'll be seeing Krishna face to face. Right. So it will make you very enthusiastic. Second, a positive frame of mind. Okay. Because as I said, all the questions will be answered right away. Then, most important thing, divine consciousness, even in the most difficult phases of life. It will make you level-headed, right? Someone loves you, someone hates you, someone shows you some respect, honors you, someone dishonors you. right? You will be simply unfazed by such situations. Okay, difficulties. See, that's why we say that difficulties or problems will always be there. They are like rainfall. Okay, you cannot control rainfall, right? Rains will always be there. But what you can do is that you can take an umbrella, right, to protect yourself. If you have a huge umbrella with you, then no matter how heavy the rain is, you will not get wet, right? So same Krishna consciousness is also like that. The problems are like these rainfalls. In our day-to-day lives, the problems will be there. You cannot avoid that, you cannot control that. But Krishna consciousness is like that umbrella, right? If you take to Krishna consciousness, no matter how heavily it is raining around you, no matter how many problems are surrounding you, basically, you will be completely unfazed, cool, calm, and composed. You will be in this world, but you will not be of this world. Now, isn't that a great thing to have? Right? We all are actually, aspiring to get this kind of consciousness, but most of us, we are just being carried away by Maya. Okay. So these are the benefits of reading the Bhagavad Gita. Now we come to the questions. Who am I? So Krishna himself tells who you are actually, and it is said in the 15th chapter, 7th verse. Mamay vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manah sasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. Okay. All the living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. So he's saying that you will be struggling here, right? So he's saying that all of you, me, you, everyone included, every living entity, not just humans, every living entity are his eternal fragmental parts. So what we are actually spirit souls. What you're seeing on the camera right now is my body. Okay, this is my physical material body which you are seeing, but actually I am a spirit soul, you are a spirit soul, we all are just eternal fragmented parts and parcels of Krishna, right? And this is the very reason why any material thing was not able to make us happy. Achieving any material thing is not able to make us happy because they are not at the platform of spirituality, they are not on the spiritual platform. How can spirit mix with matter, or how can matter mix with spirit, right? I mean, the point which Siddharth Prabhu made a few moments back, right, that I feel very happy, something that makes you happy from within, right? So that within, what he was talking of was the spirit soul. We all are actually spirit soul. This is our body. So whatever, hard work that we are doing and we are achieving something material, so those material opulences will only make this physical body comfortable. Okay, it's not on the spiritual platform. So that is the why, that hankering goes on, with every achievement, basically, right? We think that, okay, now I have this, but maybe if I can get that, I will be more happy. You get that, then okay, maybe if I have another this thing, little bit of this thing here, then I think I'll be happy. Why? This is the reason why we are not looking for happiness in the right place. We are looking it in the material platform, and that is the reason why we are not happy. Okay, because we are part and parcels of Krishna. Just imagine that if there is a fish, okay, and you just take the fish out of the water, keep it on a nice table, and may that, that table is maybe a very luxurious IKEA furniture, okay, and you just keep that in a very nice air conditioned room, keep a bottle of Coke beside that fish, and keep some Lay's potato chips with that. Do you think that the fish will be happy with all that kind of an arrangement? Obviously not, right? Because it will die. Because fishes are supposed to live in water. So no matter how much material comfort, I mean, how much comfort you try to provide to that particular fish outside water, it will never be happy, right? Same is the case with us also. We are all spiritual beings. We belong to the spiritual world, basically. We are destined to live with Krishna, actually, in his abode, Golok Vrindavan. But somehow we are stuck here in this material world. Okay. And that is the reason why. So no matter how much material opulence we, achieve, may surround us with all the, fancy gadgets and luxury items, but just like that fish, will never be happy, right? Because we don't belong here. Okay. That fish will eventually die, right? So, and this is what is happening, happening for not just one or two lifetimes, but for millions and millions of lifetimes. Okay. In our Shastras, it is said that it is possible for someone to count the number of sand grains in the river Ganges, but it is not possible for anyone to count the number of births that we have taken in this material world, right? The reason is that every time what we are doing is we are just trying to, achieve some happiness. We are hankering for some material things, and we are trying to find happiness lifetime after lifetime at the wrong place. Okay. So this is what Krishna said, and Krishna just puts an end to this question, that who we are parts and parcels of Krishna. Second, who is God? Now, this question should not come up itself, actually, if we read our Shastras very carefully. Okay. And like if you see the other faiths, maybe Islam or Christianity, they do not have any confusion there. Okay. There is just one God, and they are just worshipping that. Okay. That personality. But when it comes to Hinduism, there are 33 crore Devi and Devtas. Okay? So much of confusion is there. That okay, whom to worship, whom not to worship. इसकी पूजा करूंगा तो शायद वो बुरा मान जाएंगे, उनकी पूजा करूंगा तो शायद ये बुरा मान जाएंगे. No, all that nonsense is going on in our heads. And the only reason for this confusion is because we do not read our Shastras. The Shastras are very clear about it, that who is God. Okay, but we have never taken the trouble to read it. The only source of truth that we have today is the TV serials, unfortunately. Okay, that we see. Now we should understand that it's not the right source of truth, basically. Why? Because TV serials are basically, it is being run by the profit making organizations. Okay, their whole motive is to get as much of audience as possible and keep the audience glued to their show. It's all about TRP. So if it means that, okay, they can tweak some facts here and there, it's okay for them. If they put in some entertainment quotient, in the stories, then it's okay for them. And similarly, if, they can present it in a more dramatic or melodramatic way, then it's okay for them. So these TV serials are not the right source of truth for us. But it's a sad reality that most of us actually derive most of the informations from them. Okay, we never take the shelter of our Shastras. We never take the trouble of reading the Shastras. Okay, and we have seen why we don't read. Okay, we saw those few reasons. Okay, that why we do not cater to our spiritual needs, that due to lack of time or maybe n number of problems. Some problems are very genuine also, and some, like we also are in a habit of wasting our time. So whatever is the reason, but the thing is that we do not read the Shastras. So let's see what our Shastras have to say. Okay, so right from our childhood, it has been told to us that okay, there are three personalities: Brahma, who is the creator; Vishnu, who is the preserver; and Lord Shiva, who is the destroyer. So these are the three personalities who are at the top. All the other Devi Devtas are subordinate to these three, and this is what the concept is. And beyond this, no one knows. Okay, no one has ever told that what comes after that. Okay, after that level. So we just stop at that level. Okay, and we think that okay, all these three personalities are at the same level. Okay, which is the most wrong concept that has been fed into our head, actually. Okay, let's see. So let's see what Lord Brahma thinks about who is the Supreme Personality. Okay, so this shloka I'm quoting from Brahma Samhita. Actually, I have just quoted one or two shlokas here, but then our Shastras are actually full of so many descriptions. Okay, and there is absolutely no confusion about who is God. Okay, so what he says: Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaran Karanam. So Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He is eternal and blissful, and has he has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and is the prime cause of all causes. So clearly he is saying Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay. Second, let's see what Lord Shiva has to say. So in the Padma Puran, Lord Shiva is talking to Devi Parvati, and he's saying Aradhanam api sarvesham Aradhana Nam Sarvesham Vishnur Aradhanam Param. Okay. Of all the worships, the worship of Vishnu is the best. Okay. So Lord Brahma is saying Lord Krishna is the supreme, or Vishnu is the supreme. Lord Shiva is saying that the worship of Vishnu is the best. So he is the supreme, basically. Right? And what does Krishna say? Or what does Vishnu have to say? Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita claims, Matta Partaram Nanyat Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya. Mai sarvam idam proktam sutre mani gana eva. He says, O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. So Lord Brahma is saying Krishna is supreme. Lord Shiva is saying Krishna is supreme. And Krishna is saying, yes, I am the supreme. Okay, so where is the doubt then, right? Everything rests upon me as the pearls are strung on the thread. Okay. And when we read the Bhagavad Gita, we'll see that, Krishna actually claims that out of 11 Rudras, I am Shiva. So basically, there is no one else. Once you reach a particular spiritual maturity, then you will start seeing that there is no one else. It's only Krishna all the way. Everything else in every manifestation, whether spiritual or material, that you see all around, me, you, everyone, it's just Krishna. He is the producer, he is the director, he is the actor, he is the music director, he is the action director, he is the choreographer. Everything, it's just him. Okay. There is no one else actually. Okay. So this is what the concept is. So he is God, basically. Krishna is God. Okay. And then what is my relationship with God? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the incarnation of Krishna himself in this Kali Yuga, right? He has said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can find the quote, Jiver Shwarup Hoy Krishner Nityadas. So this is a Bangla. So since he was born in West Bengal, so most of his teachings are in Bangla, actually. Okay. So this Chaitanya Charitamrita is also basically, it comprises of Bengali shlokas. And what he says is Jiver Shwarup Hoy Krishner Nityadas. So it translates to every living entity. Jiver Shwarup means the eternal constitutional position of every living entity is to be loving servant of Krishna. Nityadas. We are Nityadas of Krishna. So when I say the word servant, so that is very, like it's not a very positive way. Okay. Like it's not perceived in a very positive way in this world. Okay. Because we all have come here to enjoy. We all want to be served. Okay. We don't want to serve others. Okay. And here is the concept that we will come to know. Siddhartha Prabhu was saying that I feel very happy when I give something to someone. Okay. So this is where the concept comes from. Okay. So Jiver Shwarup Hoy Krishner Nityadas. So being a servant may be, may not be a very positive thing to realize in this particular, in the environment that we are staying. Okay. But if you just sit back and with a cold head, if you just analyze, okay, that the basic nature of humans, okay, if you just observe everyone around you, okay, just you will come to know that each and every single one of us are serving someone or the other. Okay. Whether as parents we are serving our own parents, or maybe as parents we are serving our kids, okay, our spouses. Basically we are serving our family. Okay. And then we go to the office, we serve our supervisors, our boss, which in turn is a part of serving the bigger thing, which is the organization. The salary that we get, a part of it we pay the taxes to the government. That means we are serving the nation in some way or the other. Okay. And then there are some people who are actually, who serve their, what to say, housing society also. They become the association members or maybe the presidents, and then they are serving. So somewhere or the other, there is no person on this entire planet who can claim that I'm not serving anyone. Okay. Even if someone claims, even if we say, assume for some time that such an individual we are able to find, that who is not serving anyone in this world, but then that person is continuously under the control of material nature. That person is getting old, that person is getting sick, that person is getting, will eventually die, right? So again, we are serving the material nature if we are not serving anyone else. Okay. And if we do not get anything to serve, then we generally get a cat or a dog as a pet, and then we start serving them, actually. Isn't it? Right? So this serving is in our very basic, serving is our basic nature. It's our intrinsic nature to serve, basically, right? And that is the reason why Siddhartha Prabhu mentioned that, okay, I feel very happy when I do something for someone, right? So this is the attitude of service which is there in all of us. But the reason is that, but the thing is that even after serving so many people, so many people, and different personalities around us, okay, whether it's our family, whether it's our work, whether it's whatever, okay, we are still frustrated because no one is happy with our service. Okay. They always find some faults ki theek hai ye to kiya but ye to nahi kiya tumne, like that. That is the kind of the attitude. So why is that? Because we are not serving the right person. Okay, so the only person who is supposed to be served is Krishna or God. Okay, rest of us are simply servants, and we all should be doing that. And this, master and servant relationship is not with Krishna, is not what we see here in this material world. Okay, material world is just a perverted reflection of the spirituality, actually. Okay, so in spiritual world, what happens that if a devotee serves Krishna, then Krishna is so happy with that service that he thinks that, okay, let me serve this devotee in return. So he also does something in return for the devotee. Now, when the devotee sees that, oh, Lord is serving me, so what he does, that let me do something more for the Lord. So he then does something extra for Krishna. Then Krishna again becomes happy and he does something more. So that continuous reciprocation of this, loving relationship is there between the servant and the served, right? So this is the beauty of the spiritual world, and that will actually give us the eternal happiness, the eternal knowledge, eternal bliss that we are looking for. Okay, so this is our relationship with God, and we should be actually trying to reestablish that relationship in our day-to-day life, in our hectic life that we have. We hardly find time, to reestablish that connection. Okay, we have somewhere forgotten our eternal constitutional position. We have somewhere forgotten who we actually are. We have somewhere forgotten what is the ultimate goal of life, which is to break this cycle of life, death, and rebirth, go back home, back to Krishna. Yes. So how can we connect back with God? So a very beautiful shloka is there, one of my favorites in Srimad Bhagavatam, and it says, Kalir dosh nidhe rajan, asti yeko mahan guna, kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. Okay. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there is one good quality about this age. And what is that good quality? Simply by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to transcendental kingdom or the kingdom of God or Krishna's abode, the Goloka Vrindavan. That means simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which we ask all the devotees to do here at ISKCON, that is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, just by doing this, we all can go back home, back to Krishna. Why? Because this chanting actually cleanses our heart. It actually removes all the kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, matsar, which is there in our heart. Kam means lust, krodh, anger, lobh, greed, moh, attachment, mad, pride, and matsar, enviousness or jealousy, right? It actually removes all these material contaminations from our heart. Our heart becomes pure. And when our heart becomes pure, we are able to reestablish that connection back with Krishna. And, at the time of death, we'll be able to remember him and we'll simply be able to break this cycle of life, death, and rebirth. We'll be able to go back home, back to Krishna. Otherwise, how many of you want to come back here again, start again with LKG, then UKG, class 1, then class 10th, 12th, graduation, girlfriend banao, shadi karo, job dhoondho, and all those nonsense again, and then ultimately same cycle, over and over again. And oh, sorry, did I forget to mention that you may not be getting a human life in your next lifetime? It depends upon your karma, basically, right? So just imagine how difficult it is and how cruel it's going to be. Again, you will have to suffer here, basically. The four basic sufferings which are there: Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Janm means birth. That is a suffering, basically. If you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, you will come to know that the fetus or the baby which is there in the womb of the mother, how much suffering it has to go through, right? So that is the Janm. Because of Maya's energy, we have just forgotten that aspect. Mrityu, dying. It is said that the person who is too attached to this material world, at the time of death, he or she experience a pain of, say, 10,000 scorpions biting at the same time. But for devotees, it's very easy, because they're not attached to anything. It's, just like falling asleep for that matter. Yeah. Janma, Mrityu, Jara. Jara means old age, right? No one wants to get old, but we all are getting old with time, right? Vyadhi means disease. No one wants to fall ill. No one wants to, suffer from any disease, but then diseases are there. So these are the four, drawbacks of this material world. As long as we are here, we will have to suffer. Okay. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he has called this place a Dukhalayam, right? Mamupetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana sansiddhim paramam gata. Right? This is what Krishna says. That this place is a dukhalayam. You can never find happiness here. Even if you try to derive happiness with a lot of effort, then that will be very short-lived. Actually, ultimately, you will be frustrated. You will end up being frustrated. So the only solution is to break this cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Just go back home, back to Krishna. Right? So this is what all I had to say. As I had mentioned earlier, it's about reestablishing your connection back with Godhead. And how can we do that is by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this, as I mentioned, at the beginning of this course, that this particular course is absolutely free of cost. Okay, no hidden charges, nothing are there. You simply come here every Saturday, attend this meeting for maybe 1 hour, 45 minutes, whatever you are comfortable with, and just that's it. We are not charging you anything, but yes, one thing is definitely there. Like, I would like to ask all of you, like, if you have accepted me as your instructor or as your teacher, then one thing I will ask from all of you is that please, please, please start chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra from today itself. Maybe 2 rounds or 4 rounds, whatever you are comfortable with. Okay. And make your lives perfect. Do not waste your human life. It's a very rare opportunity that you have got. So please do not waste it. Okay. With folded hands, I am just, like making a humble request to all of you. Okay, please start chanting. How do you chant? That I'll show you. It will take another 5 minutes. Krishna. So what you see here is a bead bag. I hope all of you are able to see. Okay, and I have my chanting beads inside it. So these are my chanting beads. Okay. So I will also share a YouTube link basically, which like gives a very nice way of how you can chant with your hands inside the beads. So what we do here, this bead that you see, this is the primary bead over here, okay, which is known as the Krishna bead. So we hold this bead, and we don't make use of this pointing finger to chant. Basically, it designates false ego. So we don't use this for chanting. So you can put this bead on your middle finger like this. Okay, keep this finger away from it. Okay, and then you hold the Krishna bead, and then we chant what is known as the Panch Tattva mantra. I'll share. Everything will be there in the video, or you can watch the recording again also. So the Panch Tattva mantra is, we are offering our obeisances to Lord Chaitanya and his associates. Why? Because he is the most merciful incarnation of Lord Krishna, and he easily grants the love of God, basically. Okay, so we'll say, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrind. When we chant this mantra, what happens that any offenses that we commit while chanting, for example, we are thinking about something or someone while chanting, okay, so those are an offense towards holy name. Okay, so those offenses will not be counted once you chant the Panch Tattva mantra. Okay, then you move on to the first bead, this one. Okay, you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Move this bead to the next one. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So like this, you keep on chanting, and this bead, this whole mala, it consists of 108 beads. Okay, so one round means 108 times you have chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So my request to all of you is that at least make it, and for newcomers, it will take maybe around 6.5 to 7 minutes. I think no one of us is so busy that you cannot find 7 or 15 minutes in your day-to-day life, and you cannot chant the holy names of the God. Okay, he has given you so much, but uh, can't we do this much about for him? Actually, the reason why we worship here is basically just because either we are afraid that अगर मैं पूजा नहीं करूंगा ठीक से तो शायद something bad will happen to my family. Okay, or we want something from God. Okay, that okay, I'll do this puja, you give this in return. So that is not love. That is simply you are doing a business deal with God. He's not an ATM that जहां भी देखा बस card swipe कर दिया, right? So do something which will make him happy, right? And Krishna has disclosed, as we'll read the Bhagavad Gita, he has disclosed, okay, that what actually makes him happy. Okay, so just please, it's my humble request, start chanting from today. And yeah, that's it. What I had. We still have 7 minutes. I was planning to continue till 6:30. So 7 minutes may, if we have anything, any questions, if anyone has, I'll be more than happy to answer, or any reflections that anything that you found very interesting, or some key takeaways from this session, you are free to share now. Anyone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Siddharth Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I would like to add here that it was a wonderful session.
Hari Hari.
Very,
Thank
very,
you so much,
very,
Prabhu.
very, very, very well articulated, Prabhuji.
Hari
And
Hari.
this Maha Mantra which you have given, as I am your old student,
Mhm.
so my experience is that this mantra gives you enlightenment from your inner from inside,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely. Yes.
it gives you a great strength in positivity. What we are seeing in this materialistic world, as I'm a father of a daughter, so we are not teaching the spiritual things to our kids. Neither we are discussing anything
Yes.
religious in our house. We don't do puja in our
Mhm.
house. So the positive vibes which should have come in is not coming.
Mhm.
So today
Yes.
youngsters are looking, you rightly said, if it would have been a disco pub or a bar or a musical night or a
Yeah.
ghazal night, many
Yeah.
people must have attended this.
Yes.
But we need to teach our generation.
Mhm.
So I don't know the mix of this group, but I'm
Mhm.
sure that we should inculcate these things into our youngsters, so that
Mhm.
this mantra, the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
This mantra is so powerful that it will not make you do anything wrong.
Yes.
Trust me.
Absolutely.
And when you recite this mantra, I have my own experience when I was in London in
Mhm.
the bad COVID times. It will
Mhm.
make a circle around your body, a positive
Yes.
circle in around your body,
Mhm.
and you will feel so positive and powerful. So
Yes.
I would request on your behalf also, people must be doing this mantra.
Mhm.
I try to give messages. My wife and my daughter both are listening to you for the last 1 hour.
Hari Hari.
They
Thank you
are
so
in
much.
they are in my car and she is listening, and this is what I wanted to say, Prabhuji.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much, Prabhu. And please offer my humble obeisances to your good wife and lots of love and blessings to your daughter as well. And yes,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, absolutely. Your all the words are absolutely true. In this, we are very, like words are not just enough to describe the power of this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So actually, in Kali Yuga, what happens is that we are too much attracted to the mantras. Okay, but mantra and the chanting of the holy name are two different things. It's a different topic. Maybe someday, some other day, I can take it up. Okay, and there's a big difference between, and what is recommended as Yug Dharma for Kali Yuga is to just chant the holy names of the Lord. Okay, so here at ISKCON we do that. I request all of you to please start chanting from today itself. I will post the links. You can get the japa beads at nearest ISKCON center as well, but you can also get it on online. Okay, I mean, I will just share the link to all of you, and then it will just reach at your doorstep within maybe 1 or 2 weeks time. Yeah. So with that, I would like to conclude the session for today since there are no other questions. But still, thank you all for joining in. As I said, it was a weekend. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to come to a satsang like this. So that itself, speaks a lot about all of you. So hoping to see you all again. Like we'll be officially starting the session like from next week onwards, and then we can read the introduction of the Bhagavad Gita from next week. Okay. Till then, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna,
so much,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Really
Hare
glad
Krishna.
to join this session.
Thank you, Mataji. Hari Hari.